focused.
All right, welcome to the first episode of Almost Eye to Eye with Logan.
And David.
What? But today we're going to go over our top 5 albums of the summer so far, starting June 1st to today, August 29th. We're each going to go back and forth and give our top 5s, and we have an honorable mention each. So, David, if you want to start us off here with your honorable mention.
So my honorable mention is Wide Awake by Mekatalk. And the only reason I know about this album is because the single with Blade and Echo 2K, who I adore.
You just look like a trainer, you know that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think the album is it's the first full-length album from Mekatalk, who's mostly a producer and DJ. I don't think he has any vocals on the project. And the only reason it's not in my top 5 is it's a lot more instrumental tracks than I would like on an album. I think it's about 10 songs, and 5 or 6 of them are instrumental. So that's why it's solidly at the number 6 spot.
Hell yeah. What genre is it?
I'd say more like electric,
okay.
More like a Tiesto or Martin Garrix project than a Porter Robinson.
Okay, understood. All right, my number 6 spot or my honorable mention is Lotus by Little Sims. It's not my favorite project from her. I definitely prefer No Thank You and Simbi. But Lotus is really good. The first single from it, Free, is one of my favorite songs of the year so far. And the other standout track for me on that one is Blood, which is a really cool storytelling track of a dynamic between a brother and a sister. So really good rap album from Little Sims, one of my favorite of this year, in my number 6 spot for the summer.
And I have nothing to say about it because we did not share our honorable mentions, and we've listened to every other album on the other person's list except for the honorable mentions.
I'll probably have to check that one out because I would enjoy yours. I don't think you'd enjoy Lotus very much. All right, start us with your number 5.
So my number 5 is Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips, which is Pusha T and Malice. I listened to this album first in West Virginia on my way back from vacation. And I felt like that was the perfect environment for it because I was completely focused on the album, so I could listen to, production, lyrics, all that sort of stuff. I think this might be lower than some other people would have it in the summer, and I think the drawbacks for me are it's maybe a little bit too reliant on the features.
Interesting.
I think that Pharrell adds a lot, but I think it gets to a point when you're 9 songs in and they all have Pharrell and they all kind of start blending together that I didn't love. I think Malice does a great job. I think Pusha does a good job. I think my favorite song is...
Is it an acronym? Is your favorite song an acronym?
Yeah, I forgot what the acronym is.
Because half of the songs are acronyms.
I know. One of the acronym ones. A good one. Whatever is your favorite is my favorite. So we agree on that. Yeah.
Way to be agreeable. Yeah. Way to be agreeable. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to give too many thoughts on that because I'm going to be talking about it myself. But I'm not going to be talking about it yet because my number 5 spot is HYPERYOUTH by Joey Valence and Bray. So this one came out not too long ago. It's this fun club-sounding album. I described it today as if Beastie Boys were chronically online. And you just listened to this one today. I know you had your gripes with it. But this is my favorite Joey Valence and Bray album yet. Just super fun club-inspired music. Standouts for me were Bust Down, Is This Love, and Have to Cry. And there were also some really good features from JPEG Mafia and Rebecca Black, who, peaked at Friday, but that's fine. But yeah, that's all I have to say about HYPERYOUTH. Love that album.
Yeah. And so I listened to HYPERYOUTH for the first time today, and I felt like it was more Beastie Boys mixed with Vanilla Ice. And not that Vanilla Ice is bad, but
I didn't get that at all from my...
I think that lyrically, they bring almost nothing to the table. I think that production-wise, it's quite good. I think that Rebecca Black's part is very enjoyable. I didn't love JPEG's feature. Yeah, I thought it was kind of just, I don't know, unmemorable in a lot of ways.
I think the lyrics are incredible.
Yeah.
Walked into a Chinese restaurant and the fortune cookie told me I was goated.
I'm half Asian, I'm half amazing, I'm amazing.
Those are bars. Those are bars, I'm telling you. I will say I did prefer the lyricism on No Hands from last year, but I do think that this is a better album overall. Did you know that Joey Valance and Bray were on Ellen a couple years ago?
Oh, before Ellen probably was like a bad person.
Before Ellen. Well, she's probably a bad person
yeah.
still. But they were on Ellen. They had I forget what song they even went on there for, but they like had a hit, and
you
Ellen
think she was
like,
on the island? Yeah, that's kind of what I get too.
You might want to just get into your number 4 before we talk too much about that.
My number 4 is Vanisher Horizon Scraper by Quadeca. And he has some more thoughts about it that he'll probably get into later.
Extensive.
And I like this a lot. I listened / watched the movie when it came out that night, and I thought that the movie did a good job of really showing the cohesiveness of this project, because I think it is, more like a book or a movie, and I think a lot of albums, you don't have to listen to in order. This is definitely one that I think you should listen to in order. And yeah, I thought even though if there's not lyrical storytelling, I think there's a lot of like sonic storytelling through like the different moods and tones that the music kind of shifts throughout the album. So I'd say my favorite song is Monday.
Hearing you talk this positive about Quadeca is just so incredible for me.
I know.
Wow, and Monday is a great choice at the number 1 spot for sure. And again, I'm gonna have more to say about Vanisher. But now my number 4 is Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips. I really just think that Pharrell, I know you had some gripes with him, but I really feel like he's the unsung MVP of the year so far. But I will say I don't like his singing on the album.
Yeah.
So the production is all there 100%, but anytime he starts to sing, it just completely loses me. I don't like the singing voice all that much.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of ashamed to admit this, but I had no idea that Clips existed before this year.
Yeah.
I had no idea who Malice was even. I liked Pusha T. I had no idea who Malice is, but I'll say that I actually preferred Malice on this album to Pusha T. I thought that Malice was pretty great.
Definitely.
The standout tracks on this one for me were POV, Mike Tyson Blow to the Face, and FICO. So all 3 acronyms right there as my 3 favorite songs. And that Tyler feature is just great. The Kendrick feature is good too, but the Tyler feature is even better. And we got a really big Tyler fan here on my side.
We'll talk about Don't Tuck the Glass later. Don't worry.
All right.
Okay. My number 3, Beating Out. Clips, Beating Out Quadeca. It is Addison by Addison Rae. And I know what you're saying. That TikToker, what does she know about music?
Why are you saying it like you're trying to pitch? Okay, go ahead.
And turns out she knows something about music. She knows how to press the record button and sing and make a pretty good album. I thought that it was very fun. I thought that it lacked cohesiveness in a good way. I felt like it was like Brat in a good way and not like the way that one Selena Gomez song is. I thought that, vocally I thought it was all right. I thought lyrically it was what you expect from Addison Rae. And yeah, I was very surprised by it, and I like it a lot. And I would say that my favorite songs are Aquamarine and Headphones On. I think those are going to be my 2 favorites.
I respect it. I don't think she should touch this list at all, but I do think that the album was pretty alright. So I'll give it that. It's like fun pop music. Comparing it to Brat is kind of offensive.
They're friends. And
they have worked together too. I get it. So it's a good album.
Yeah.
So now at my number 3, this is one that we've been really excited to talk about. I have "Don't Tap the Glass" by Tyler, the Creator. Before I even say anything, I kind of just want to get your opinion on this album.
Yeah, so, coming off of Chromacopia, this was a very unexpected release. Even Chromacopia, it had been, 2 years since the last Tyler? I guess a year if you count the deluxe.
Yeah, if you count the estate
So,
sale.
like a year-ish, so kind of within the cycle that you expect most artists to release music. There was a much shorter turnaround, and that definitely showed.
And what was it, 8-10 months, somewhere in that range? But
yeah, and so I thought I do have some issues with this. I think the vocals and production and lyrics are all bad. I don't like the cover either. I would say the prose. It's only 30 minutes long.
It is short.
It's very short, which I enjoy. Yeah. I can't think of an album that I've heard this year all the way through that I've liked less. I think by far my least favorite Tyler album that I've listened to. I would say it's like when you try to heat up food in a bowl and you take it out and the bowl's really hot and the stuff in the middle's still super cold. So, yeah. So what are your thoughts? It's actually number 3.
I love it. I love "Don't Tap the Glass." I think that you're wrong. Yes. I think that albums always hit harder when they're unexpected. And I think it's sick that he dropped this album before the Chromacopia tour was even done.
I do think that's cool.
Exactly. But it's just fun. Big Poe is great. I actually do like Pharrell on that one. But Big Poe is great. I love the bust on it too. But it's just a fun album. It feels very similar in theme and energy to HYPERYOUTH, which maybe you have a trend for what you dislike about albums. I mean, no, but the Addison Rae album wasn't super serious either. So
it's so fun.
You just don't like the music. I just think it's fun. I don't have too much to say about it.
And I would say,
what's your least favorite? Do you have a least favorite
on that album specifically?
Yeah.
What's the intro track? Because then when you're listening to that, you know that you have to listen to the rest of the album, and that just...
The intro track is Big Poe, and I think that...
Yeah, it's a Big Poe.
Right.
I thought that one really lost me. And it's kind of like... It's like if I was a blind man that had his legs cut off in a forest, and also there was no forest. That's how much it lost me. Okay, so my number 2 is Virgin by Lorde. I was very excited for this album to come out. Lorde is amazing. Not because of the title, not because of
Is it your number 2 because you relate?
There was a song called David on it that I really like. So I would say that was big for me.
Yeah.
I saw that was on the track list. I think it's a different direction for Lloyd, which I always love to see in an artist. I kind of hate when artists I'd rather them make a slightly worse album that's different than a album that's good but kind of just blends together with all their previous work. I would say a great example of that is just Porter Robinson's album last year, which I really liked.
That's great.
But it was completely different from Nurture and not as good, but sometimes that's a good thing. And so, yeah, I thought that I loved the singles. I loved, the whole rollout process. I think it has a cool album cover. The vinyls of it are cool. The CDs are, clear, which I think is cool. Yeah, I mean, it does lose me in some parts. I thought it was maybe a song too long. I thought that vocally, her vocals are, I would say, processed differently on this album than normal, which, again, good, trying new things, but maybe not as good as a Solar Power or a Melodrama. But all in all, good. Not my favorite Lorde album, but that's okay, because
I mean, and it was good enough to get number 2 of the summer.
Good enough
for
to
you,
be
so
number 2. Good enough to be number 2.
I only listened to the singles on this one, and they were good. I will listen to it in full, but it just didn't really captivate me. I've never listened to a Lorde album in full.
Are you serious?
No, never. So, but I will, and this will be the first
You've
one.
never listened to Pure Heroin?
I've never listened to all of Pure Heroin, so I've only listened to little bits. But I will, and when that time comes, I'll be sure to let you know how I liked it. So now my number 2, I have Magic Alive by McKinley Dixon. And McKinley Dixon is really working his way to becoming my favorite rapper of all time, which feels crazy to say.
How old is he? Do you know? I'd guess.
I think he's upper 20s, lower 30s.
Okay.
He is incredible.
Yeah.
When I heard Beloved Paradise Jazz for the first time, I didn't like it. Especially what's the name of the one song on it? Mezzanine Trippin' or whatever it's called. Yeah. Do you know what one I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
12.
Yeah.
That song just I turned the album off. And then I came back to it a few months later and I was like, this is the best piece of music I've ever heard. It's a 10 out of 10, my favorite rap album of all time. Yeah. I also really love From My Mama and Anyone Who Looked Like Her. And then this album came out this year, and it was my most anticipated rap album of the year. And I don't think it's quite as good as Beloved Paradise Jazz, but I do think that it's his second best album ever. It's just incredible jazz rap. A lot of the features deliver, like Geis Guevara, Teller Banks, and Alfred, all 3 of those great. Just especially on that song Crooked Stick, that song is great. And then other than Crooked Stick, other songs that were the highlights for me were Run 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 Part 2, not as good as the original track, but still very good. And then the title track Magic Alive is also great.
Yeah, so I listened to this the first time yesterday or the day before, I think.
Yeah.
And at the end kind of lost me. I like what he's trying to do.
You're just not really a jazz rap guy, are you?
I mean, maybe not, but I think that he's got big ideas and he's trying to do a lot, which I think is good. But I thought that kind of bit off more than he could chew with this album at certain parts.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it a ton. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've agreed on pretty little. Maybe that'll change as you get into your number 1.
Well, before we do our number 1s, I would like to do track time with me, David. So, okay, 18:30. Okay, so I have a minute. And so what I'm going to be talking about is the men's 1500 meter for World Championships, which is about 3 weeks from now, I think. And so my favorite personally is Niels Lotus. I mean, he's just been dominating. Won the 800, won the 5K at U20s or U23s, won Eugene, beat Yard Goose in a crazy kick. He won the Diamond League, keeping Yard Goose out of Worlds. And, I mean, last 100 meters closing in a 12.5. Last lap of his 5K closing in like a 54. I mean, I think he's very talented. I think this is Jakob Ingebrigtsen levels at this age. And I think this is going to be his big coming out race. And I think he wins. And I think top 3 goes Lotus, Hacker, and I think Kerr. So I think the big kickers will get it done. So, yeah, that's track time with me.
I think we need to change the name of that segment to Off Track with David.
That's fine.
Thank you for your insight. I listened to 0 of it. I got myself a drink of milk and a ginger mint.
It's fine.
So now we're ready for your number 1 pick.
Yes, my number 1.
Number 1 album of the summer from David Beasing.
This is my number 1 album of the year so far as well. And it's Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You by Ethel Cain. 10 songs, about an hour and a half.
Long.
Very long. Very long. When I saw it was 10 songs, I got kind of sad. But when I saw it was an hour and a half, I was like, we're so back.
I mean, what was it, like a 15-minute closer track?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it just takes you on this journey. It's the prequel to Ethel Cain's first full-length album. Preacher's Daughter. And I think that, like, vocally, she kills it. Lyrically, she kills it. Storytelling, continuity, all those things that I look for when you're talking about, like, an album being, like, all-time great, kills it. I think drawbacks, 3 instrumentals was a little much, and that kind of lost me at points. But then I get right back into it. Like, I mean, Nettles, I think, song of the decade, maybe. It's so good.
Wow.
My only qualm with it, it's only 8 minutes. Give me more. I thought Janine is so good. I thought, Waco, Texas, obviously. I thought Knock at the Door, which is such a stripped back what's it called when it's not electric? Acoustic track. An acoustic track that I thought was so good. Like the twinges on the guitar that you can hear really do it for me. Yeah, and it's just, it wrecked me when I heard it for the first time. I mean, the singles were great, and like that night when it came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna cry a lot, and I only cried a little bit, so that was good.
There we go. So, we got a strong guy right here. I listened to this album for the first time the same day that we played Magic Alive together. It was one of the first days after we moved into our dorm, and we played on a Bluetooth speaker out loud, and I was like, no girls for the rest of the year are going to come knocking at our dorm asking for a dorm tour, because they're like, these twinks that live in this room have never spoken to a woman and probably will never want to speak to a woman. But I liked it. I thought it was a good album. It was enjoyable. It was sad. It was calm. I don't have too much to say. I mean, it was one listen, but I did like it, and I respect it at the number one slot. So, all right, my number one album of the year. What? I sensed some animosity under his breath there. My number one album of the year, number 4 on yours.
Yep.
Vanisher Horizon Scraper by Quedeca. Got the map, the Atlas map or whatever the hell back there. This actually doesn't have the record in it because I took it out. I didn't want to break it. Incredible album. One of the best albums I've ever listened to in my entire life. Beautiful concept album, and I think probably Quedeca's best. Really, Vanisher, Scrapyard, and I Didn't Mean to Haunt You are all in that same top tier for me. But I've been a Quedeca glazer since probably 2018 when he was making some of the worst music that you could ever imagine. So I might look back in a couple years and be really disappointed with this choice. I used to like his song War with Dax. So
you
it doesn't
admit that video 1?
I'll admit it, video 1. Not only did I like War with Dax, I used to be a Dax fan. So
I'm glad you've healed.
I did used to be a Dax fan, and that's the type of music that Quedeca used to make, but he has had one of the biggest evolutions out of any artist, and I think even you, if you're tired of my droning on about Quedeca, you can appreciate the growth, because his music used to suck. But all the features on this album deliver. I thought that Oleka, I think is her name, she worked on a couple tracks. She had some really beautiful vocals. Danny Brown, as always, love Danny Brown, and of course he had to play the role of something, so in this instance it was the great Bakunawa, a Filipino sea monster. I do think I liked what he did on I Didn't Mean to Haunt You a little bit more. And then everything from Maruja on this album was great too. I had never heard of Maruja before this. I called them Maruja for a while, because that looks like how it would be pronounced. But Harry, I think, their lead singer, he's just got like a really cool voice that like reminds me a little bit of Isaac from Black Country New Road, in the way that it's kind of untraditional, a little more spoken word. But all of his contributions were great too, because he was on there plenty. This has just been one of my favorite albums to walk to hike to listen to when I'm outside. Makes me feel like I'm in a movie. Makes me feel like I'm more important than I am. In my notes in front of me right here, I have standout tracks as Just Everything.
I didn't hear that song.
All of the songs. Every song. Waging War at a Time Like This and Casper are all just really impressive sonically. Ruin My Life, God Stained, Monday, That's Why and Foregone are just beautiful, and some of those can get tears out of me. No Questions Asked, I Dream About Sinking, and Natural Causes are all like ominous as hell and freaky. And then I love the energy that comes from The Great Bakunawa and Thunder, which Thunder specifically I'm really excited to see in concert this October.
Yeah.
So that's all that I have to give for my number one. Any closing thoughts, David?
Well, I'll just say the reason that was lower on mine is I don't think Quadeca is that good vocally. Like, it just doesn't do it for me. Like, vocally. And, like, lyrically, I think, like kind of what I said before, the sonics really do a good job of telling the story. I thought that the lyrics kind of didn't. And that's okay, because he makes up with it, and it was still number 4 on my list.
You know what? He did say on The Great Bakunawa, I need a million bad bitches. And that's how we're going to end this episode, so thank you for watching. Those were our top 5 albums of the summer.
One
bad
bitch.
One bad bitch.
Please.
Thank you for watching. This was Almost Eye to Eye with Logan and David. Have a good rest of your day, and tune in next time.